Hey gang, thanks for checking in.
Quick update on Steam Court. Our illustrator is wrapping up and putting the finishing details on just the last couple characters. Our coin artisan has all the materials and is starting to mint and money launder, or whatever that's called. And the instruction manual is finished and ready to go.
We're also steadily working on applying all of our Steam Court graphics to the custom wooden boxes. There are several of those, so we're working through those and getting them stained soon.
Lots of TLC going into that, but we're happy to do it.
Similar to the game we'll be reviewing today, it was self-published with love by Charles Ward. We're going to be looking at Blood and Fortune in today's Terrible 2
Minute Review.
Blood and Fortune is a 3 to 6 player card game from Exist Games in which players act as nobles that are trying to gain enough influence among their peers in order to be crowned king.
At the beginning of the game, each player takes a house card, which will be their color for the game. They take the 5 matching cards that go with it, and a score card. They randomly draw those because those have different abilities on them. Then if you're using the roll cards, you can also take 2 roll cards. You look at those, you pick one that you want to add into the game and place it in front of you, and then before the game starts, everybody will actually take a roll card from in front of someone else and put it into their hand.
The player who most recently touched the sword goes first, and now you're ready to play. Make and break promises, and just generally lie about what cards you have in your hand. This is all permissible.
The game takes place over 4 stages. In the first stage, players had the opportunity to take their influence cards and offer 2 to any other player at the table. They can negotiate how they want to do that or who they want to do that with. The player looks at the cards, they decide to keep one, they place it face down on the table to the right of their house card, and then they return the other card to the player who gave it to them.
You go around the table doing this 3 times, and as you go, you could also offer a roll card instead of an influence card, and if the other player decides to take that card, they have to give you an influence card to place in front of you in return. Also, whenever a player does receive an influence card, they can play the special ability from their scorecard.
You do this going around 3 times, and at the end of that, you move into the second stage, which is where you resolve roll cards, if you're using those. You start with the lowest numbered card and work your way up, resolving them as you go. And these really have the potential to shake the game up because they could be anything from like swap all your cards out to like change the order to discard something. So the game really changes up with that introduction.
Once all of the roll cards are resolved, it is then time to reveal influence cards. Now, while you've been taking influence cards earlier, you have to lay them out in the order that you received them, because when they're revealed, all the double influence cards are discarded, except for the most recent one that you received.
Then you enter into the final stage of the game, the scoring, and basically what you're doing is just adding up the point values for all the influence cards that you've laid on the table. Not just in front of you, but in front of everyone. So single influence are worth 1 point, double influence are worth 2. Whoever has the most points at the end of the round becomes the start player for the next round. Then you pull back all your house cards and you reshuffle the roll cards to everybody, and you'll be ready to start the next round.
Yeah, and after 3 rounds, whoever has the most influence points at the end wins.
All right, so let's talk about it. Give us your rating on the mechanic.
This game is kind of difficult to explain because until you've played it once or twice, you're not going to understand the real strategy that's involved in making sure the cards happen in front of you in the right order and also in front of everybody else just right. Because scoring those double influence cards is so important in order to win the game. Now, I like how that they incorporated the negotiation mechanics so you can try to, maneuver when things happen to you, and it keeps it simple while still having a lot of thought intensity. So I like that this game isn't overly complex and the time doesn't take too long. Theme.
I like the theme a lot. I think the artwork is really pretty exquisite. The house cards are all beautiful and really, really unique, but really consistent across the board, which I think is great. They've done some clever stuff like your scorecard. The way you keep score is you lay your house card on top of your scorecard and you move that around each time, and it's just really clever. They also have, like, when you lay your influence cards out, all the little sword points all line up, which is very, very slick. Just really, really well executed, very cool aesthetic. I really like the look and feel for the game a lot. Replayability.
Well, this game only takes 10 to 30 minutes to play, so, I mean, it might take a little longer depending on who you play with, but I could definitely have a few games in a night, or have more rounds, or just have the rounds take longer. The one thing that kind of holds back replayability for me is the emphasis on negotiation, because I'm just really bad at negotiation games. Enjoyability.
I, on the other hand, love negotiating. I love that type of strategy game. I think that this is the type of game where the rules are simple enough that people can jump into it really fast, which is great. But it's a game where it does get deep and has a lot of potential for becoming kind of a thinky game. It's one of those ones that's easy to learn, hard to master, which you gotta love those.
So check out Blood and Fortune on their website. Links are in the comments. And Tantrum House gives Blood and Fortune 2 thumbs up.
Action!
That was my bad that time. No, I messed up staining.
It was your fault.
Okay. I think of Mary-Kate and Ashley when I sing that song.
All right, so let's rate it.
Go ahead. Well, this is kind of a hard game to explain because
it's hard. It's kind of a hard game to explain. It's really easy. The instruction manual is really short, but it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Legit.
So say it again.
Real talk.
All right. All right, so mechanic. It's hard to just say that. All right, let's rate it. Mechanic.
This is kind of difficult to Don't mock me, child.
I looked at you and your face was like you're already into the sentence. Okay, really ready. 3, 2, 1.